thought we did a nice job of competing throughout, not allowing the external factors of who they had available or the scoreboard to dictate too much of our performance. And I think that's important in situations like this. We want to play good basketball all the time. Thought we did that tonight for the most part.
Questions for Coach? I'm gonna start with the big lineup. The Tomislav JT lineup played about a little over 6 minutes, and they were +7. I don't know overall. What would you grade it?
I thought they did some good things. I think we got to look at the film to really see like which of the aspects of that worked the way we wanted to or didn't. We kind of the way they've been playing with like playing a lot of two bigs. We felt like it was an opportunity to kind of match them. Then one of those guys wasn't available, but Tomislav's a pretty versatile defender, so we just sort of stuck to our plan regardless.
Is that something, I guess, similar to maybe it was out of necessity or whatever, but you guys brought back the zone. Now you did a 2-2 wrinkle. Are those a couple wrinkles that obviously you guys aren't going to those exclusively at this point of the season, but that you do think you could use kind of down the stretch in moments?
Yeah, I mean we want to be multiple in how we can play, and if there's an opportunity where it makes sense and we think it can help us, I think it's good that we've at least kind of done it with the lights on. We had a little break here, so we got a little time to practice. That's hard to come by in the course of the season because you're always just kind of preparing for the next game. So being able to take 2 days and really practice and focus on ourselves gives us an opportunity to potentially look at different lineups, work on different potential solutions for what's ahead.
Kind of as a follow-up to that, I haven't ever asked what Milos's injury is. He had a boot on today. Is Milos coming back?
I don't know the answer to that at this time. He's got quite a bit of discomfort, but I do think it's my understanding is bone bruise. So I think we're not ruling anything out, but he's not comfortable enough to perform at this moment.
And he's kind of the other big, so I mean, we're asking big. That's okay. Then the other thing I wanted to ask about was Antonio Mitchell. I know he kind of came out of the funk he was in last week at Phoenix, and you talked a little bit about that in the post game. But tonight, 20 points, and he seems to kind of be comfortable again. Is that anything you guys are doing to facilitate that, or is that just Antonio hitting shots now?
Yeah, I think that's just him kind of trusting his work, trusting the process. I think we talked about it in here at different stages when he was struggling. Like he's been doing all the right things. He's coming back. He's putting in the work. He's practicing well. He does a good job. He takes his vitamins seriously and his pre-practice. So, we've been just talking to him about trusting that part, and that he's a really talented guy. Like it's going to come around for him. And I thought he, as well as it had in those couple days where we really worked on our, just focused on us, and he had 2 great days of practice. So we felt like he might hopefully build on what he did against Grand Canyon. And so it's good to see him shoot it well again.
Coach, these cannot be easy games to play just because the expectation is you're going to win handily. And if you don't do that, then your metrics drop. You don't want to run the score up in anyone, but I mean, how hard are these games to play and prepare for?
Yeah, so we just prepare the same way, and really it's about, I think it's about your group, right? Like I think we have a mature group that has a high care factor and wants to play well, and we just talked about, that's what good teams do. Good teams play good basketball, right? Regardless of the opponent, and we think we're a good team, and I thought our guys did that tonight for the most part.
And I did ask you if you were going to experiment a little bit. Obviously, the big thing was a good one. I'll take credit for that one. I did ask JT. But is there anything else you did tonight that maybe you don't ordinarily do, that we didn't pick up on?
No, nothing off the top of my head. I mean, we could talk about free throws or missed layups or some of the things that we'd like to not normally do, but not schematically.
Yeah.
Coach, in the first half with about 7 minutes left, it was like 32-25. They were matching you guys point for point, but then you guys closed the half on like a 23-7 run. What'd you guys do defensively that kind of turned it over?
So we executed better. I thought they did a good job early attacking the baseline. Like we're always pretty aggressive in those situations. I can think of, they got a lob over top of the rim. They got beat the help, and we had to bring a third, and they sprayed it for 3. So we felt like we weren't really affecting them much in something that foundationally we should be pretty good at. So, you know, we weren't able to disrupt them as much as we wanted to. You know, we forced a bunch of turnovers against them the first time. We tried to replicate that, but they did a good job of taking care of the ball. You know, and we were able to still win the possessions because we did a good job on the glass, but you know, we didn't create the kind of disruption that we hoped.
And then in the second half, well, a lot throughout the game, it seemed like they wanted to initiate their offense through 51, and then Tomislav was just able to play off, and then it was kind of playing like 5-on-4. Can you just talk about how that defensive matchup worked out for you guys?
Yeah, they do a lot of that. They play through their big, and there's a lot of cutting. We switch a lot, so we're sort of vulnerable for some of those back doors. So in those situations, if their big isn't a threat to shoot it, we want to give some space there so that we can help on cuts and kind of narrow some of those passing windows for them.
Your guards got into the rebounding tonight. Was it something that they made a point for them to do, or is that something that they just went and did?
Well, I mean, we always want everybody to rebound, but you know, they were missing their 2 best defensive rebounders. So we, you know, once we kind of knew those 2 guys were out in Robinson and Walker, we just felt like we had a potential for real advantage there, and so we did emphasize really trying to go to the glass, you know, in part because they were limited, and we felt like we could take advantage of it.
Coach, it's your 20th win of the season, in your debut season for the Lobos. I mean, general question, but what makes this group so special? I mean, what were you telling them in the locker room after this big victory?
I just told them that they played well, and that you know, talked about some of the things we did well. I thought that we did a really good job of continuing to play. You know, I think, you know, guys are diving on the floor for loose balls up big late. I thought the guys who were on the court competed the whole time, and you know, we weren't perfect in what we did, but I just thought it was a mature approach from us.
Coach, how do you keep the team completely focused? I mean, coming to the end of the year, end of the season, every game's important, and you go on to the next game. How do you keep the players focused? I mean, they're obviously motivated. They know what's going on as far as the seedings and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think that sort of makes that part of it easy for us, right? Like, everybody understands where we are. We have a lot to play for. Like, everyone should be motivated. I don't think anybody really needs much from me at this time of year. Like, this is the part of the season we've been working since June to prepare for, and so I think guys are just embracing the opportunity.
Tomato Pond, 7-0 run on his own. I mean, what's the coach, you know, gonna do to not, you know, or to keep that guy on the bench? Like, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, Tomato was good tonight, you know, and take advantage of his opportunities. He's doing a good job.
Obviously, I'm kidding. I know he has a lot of other growth to do, but when Tomato comes in and does that, and the bench reacts like that, I mean, is it fun for a coach? Do you notice the bench reacting when the guy at the end of the bench does something like that?
Yeah, we got a great group. You know, like they like each other. They care about each other. They root for each other. You know, I mean, Tomislav's like the biggest cheerleader when JT's making plays. You know, and so. I think our guys are always like rooting for each other, and Tomeo is someone that he's fun to be around. He's got a great spirit about him, you know, so he's probably a guy that everybody roots for just a little bit more, but yeah, it's cool to see him have some success.
And then one other question I had is Luke went for 2 dunks in this game. He attempted twice a dunk that I don't think I've seen him really attempt something like that aggressively. Is there anything to that? I mean, was somebody giving him a hard time in practice or something about dunking? Because I haven't seen him do that twice in a game. I don't know if I've seen him do that once in a game all year.
No, I think it probably had more to do with the separation in the game, you know. I think we had a few missed dunks. Not my favorite part of the game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.